It would help to put myself on the screen. Good morning, LBHT crew. Good morning, Rogue Nation. Listen, Rogue fans, Hendo cannot make it today. If you're over on the Rogue Pod channel, there will not be a live stream over there. Just come over to the lunch break hot take. We're flying solo today. Okay. I started a little late. I was trying to find an article that I was reading yesterday regarding Lamar Jackson, but that's okay. That's all right. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Good news. Okay, this is good news, and love to see it. But let's give some morning shout outs because y'all, man, y'all be here early, and I appreciate it. First, let's start with the super chat. Dr. Kush, appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat. Says we in here. Also, before I get started, I want to give us a shout out to Will Darden, who just became a Patreon member. Appreciate that, Will. Really appreciate that. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you want to be a part of our membership, of our community, join our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. Also, we have channel memberships, only $5, right? And that'll get you access to our overtime show, which happens every Wednesday after the LBHT show, which is a lot of fun. All right. So make sure you check that out. So shout out to y'all. Appreciate a great way to start. Carmelo Moody says, Grand Rising, Carmelo. Appreciate you coming through. We have Michael Akins in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Who else is in here? An unkind Ravens fan. Good morning. Just Aloe. Good morning. We got Big Boy. Good morning. My man, Coach. Salute. Good morning, Coach. I'm gonna hit you up after the show. I want to make sure we're still streaming today. We're still streaming. We'll talk. RJ. Good morning. Good morning. Alfonso. Good morning. Team Ramey. Good morning. This is blessed and highly favored. Salute to you. Ravenville. Good morning. Yes. Devin. Konnichiwa. I remember you're in Japan. Yes. Good morning. Clock. Good morning. We got another super chat. Salute. Oh, there he is right there. William Darden just signed up for Patreon. I really appreciate that. Says love the content. New to Patreon. Y'all are the voice of all Ravens fans' frustrations with how this GM and Lord Voldemort did our team and Lamar. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the Patreon membership. I really appreciate that. All right. Who else we got in here? Reese, good morning. Okay, Coach says yes. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit you up. All right. Look, I'm gonna go back to Alfonso's comment here. Please, if you hear a little squeaking in the background, please excuse that. This is it's one of these gas pipes. Everything's fine. It's just it makes that noise when the heater comes on. We'll get that fixed. Alfonso says, I need Lamar extension like yesterday. That's actually what I was looking up because as I was going to bed, I was reading something about Lamar Jackson and his contract extension. This wasn't the exact thing. I'll bring it up on the screen. Give me a second here. It's not the exact thing I was reading. The one I was reading, they're pretty much saying, yeah, they're working on that, which we knew. I mean, they pretty much said that in the press conference with Bashadi and Eric DaCosta, right? And basically saying Lamar Jackson is expected to enter contract extension talks with the Ravens this offseason. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garofalo reported on NFL Game Day morning on Sunday. Jackson was instrumental in Baltimore's hiring of head coach Jesse Minter and offensive coordinator Declan Doyle, putting to rest any speculation the Ravens were looking to trade the two-time MVP, per the insiders. Jackson's $74.5 million cap hit in 2026 will be something to work out this offseason, however. Yeah, obviously, right? That's the whole point of them wanting to do an extension. That's the whole point of getting it done and, to lower the cap hit and get him some more money. Grails, good morning. Salute. So, yes, there's speculation that he would get traded from certain people that don't really have a lot of credibility. Like that's just the reality of it. So I'm fixing my camera here. There we go. People like Florio, who just makes things up. You know what I'm saying? Like people that aren't real reliable. Diana Rossini, right? And I don't really have anything against her personally, but I'm seeing too much misinformation coming from her camp or her tweets. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't trust her. There's a lot of misinformation coming out over this season and continuing into the offseason with Lamar Jackson. So those rumors about him getting traded, that mainly stemmed from Florio putting it out there. It's just a slimy tactic to get some clicks, to get people talking about it. But there's never any indication from Lamar or from the organization that they were looking to trade him. Also, he can't be traded unless he asked to be traded specifically. So that's the other thing too. Unless you hear Lamar, if you hear stories that Lamar wasn't happy and he wants to go, that's one thing. But this talk that the Ravens could trade him, they can't do it unless he wants to get traded. He has a no trade clause, right? Bazel, good morning. Appreciate that. Gifted 1 lunch break hot take membership. There's a show who got it. Yes, Reese. Congratulations to Reese. Just became a sponsor. I appreciate you, Reese. I hope you enjoy it. That will give you access to the overtime show. I'll pin the link to Discord in the community tab again. I heard it goes away after a while, so I'll pin it again. So the members for the channel members, you'll have that. And hey, if you want to hang out after the LBHT show tomorrow, come check out the overtime show. It's a lot of fun. We get to a bunch of topics that we don't get to talk about on the main show. It's a lot of fun. So check it out. Check it out. Just Alice says Florio and Preston have been trying to trade Lamar for 4 years running. Yeah. Tactical precision, grand rising. Salute. Thanks for coming through. See Iron Addict. Salute. So yeah, that and we knew that Lamar, they're going to try to get Lamar involved in the coaching search, right? And I'm glad that they talked about this in this report, because something that me and B talked about with the press conference is that, is Steve Bisciotti serious about this, or is he just giving lip service, right? Is he just telling the fans what they want to hear? Because look, man, we're tired of the BS. He's tired of losing, but more so like he doesn't want to see empty seats in the stadium, right? He doesn't want to see us not make the playoffs and not make that extra money from playoff revenue. And if this is going to appease the fans, then he'll go out there and say whatever needs to be said, but it might still be business as usual. But I told B, I don't get that feeling from Bisciotti. I feel like he's tired. He wants to get another ring before he sells the team. He's talked about selling the team for a while. And I think he wants that to happen soon. And he realized it's not going to happen with John Harbaugh, right? And I think he did put EDC on notice, like, hey, man, Harbaugh's gone. You could be next. You need to make things happen. And they made it clear that they're trying to get Lamar signed. I'm pretty sure he spoke to, in fact, he did speak to Lamar. He did talk to Lamar briefly about getting the contract done. I think Lamar wants to get that done as well. I'm sure there's some hesitation in terms of, well, who are you bringing in? What are you going to do this offseason? Things like that. So this is a good faith effort on their part to say, hey, we want you to help us pick the new coach. We want your input to make sure you're comfortable with the people coming in, and to be open with them and make him part of the process shows that they are about him. Because up until this point, I can't say that the organization was all about Lamar, right? And not saying you got to be 100% about a player, but like really trying to build around the franchise player, right? I don't think they were about that at all. I think they treated him like most black quarterbacks get treated. Hey, he's good. We can use his legs to cover up our deficiencies, and we won't worry about it. We'll run him until he can't run anymore. I think there was a little bit of that going on, and Lamar Jackson did a great job protecting himself from that. People can say he quit. They could say he could have played through these injuries or whatever, but he had legit injuries, and he did the smart thing by not going out there and hurting himself further. He protected himself. And in the process of doing that, he exposed how bad the team really was, right? We've been saying that on the show for a while that, man, if Lamar doesn't play, this is a really bad team, a poorly constructed team, a poorly coached team. And that happened during that 1-5 stretch. We saw how bad it was. People didn't even want to show up to the stadium. I think that's where it all fell apart for John Harbaugh during that 1-5 stretch. Bisciotti will never admit it, but I think he was close to getting fired right then and there. I think had he lost another game or two, Harbaugh would probably be gone because we looked awful, right? So, that's what needed to be done. That's what I wish Cam Newton would have done when he was playing. I wish he didn't play through injuries. I wish there were times where he would have held out before extending to say, what you going to do for this team, man? What you going to do for me? You're not really giving me any weapons. The protection ain't great. I'm not going to just sign this extension. Like, we need to talk about this. I wish a lot of black quarterbacks would have done that. But Lamar is doing that, and they're responding. So salute to him. Let's see who we got in here. Rainmaker, salute. Good morning. Says EDC is definitely on the hot seat as he should be. 100%. 100%. Yolanda, salute. Good morning. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Make sure y'all go subscribe over there. Appreciate you coming through. Melanated One, good morning. Says EDC is the one cancer left. I don't trust him. I understand. I'm not giving any protection for EDC at this point. I feel like he could possibly right the ship, right? When he first took over, I felt good about EDC because he came up with Ozzie, and Ozzie obviously is a legendary GM. Ozzie had his flaws, but Ozzie knew how to make up for his flaws for the most part. And I figured that would continue. But I think his relationship with John Harbaugh is what hindered EDC. This is just my thought. He might just be a bad GM, right? So far, he has proven himself to be a bad GM, but I think now he'll get a chance to prove that, hey, it was really Harbaugh, right? Harbaugh, I don't like the power structure that they have there. They talked about that in the press conference, how the coach and the GM both answer to the owner. It's not the coach answers to the GM. There's a reason why organizations do that. There's a reason why. And this whole thing of, I want to power my coaches to have a voice and all that. Coaches have voices, right? They can still answer to the GM. But the buck has to stop with, like, that's the guy that's running your organization, supposed to be running your organization, right? Especially for somebody like C. Bisciotti, who likes to be hands off. No, they got to answer to the GM, right? And what happened is you have coworkers on the same level, and nobody overrides the other, and you get players that don't belong on the team. You get guys that Harbaugh want that they're choir boys, but they're not really good football players, but they're not going to challenge Harbaugh, but they're also not helping the team. You get projects like Daniel Falele because he's known him since he was 16 years old and he wants him on the team, and he's getting our quarterback blown up. That's what happens. And they live right next to each other. They're neighbors. So there's too many things going on to where, hey, we can still be friends because this is a millionaires boys club, but you can't work here anymore. All right. We can still be neighbors. We can still be good friends. You're going to get a job somewhere else. You got to go. We'll bring somebody else in that you don't have that relationship with, and then we'll see how it works out. So we're going to get the best of EDC, whether it's good or not. We're going to get the best effort from EDC, right? A new coaching staff, somebody he doesn't have a tight relationship with. He knows Jesse Minter from when he coached here before, but they don't have a tight relationship, and also he is on the hot seat. Let's see who we got in here. Zeke Hokage, good morning. Good morning. Cousin Davon, salute. Salute. Thanks for coming through. God's favorite, salute. Nye Mig, what's going on? He says, good morning. Top priorities, O-line, edge, star receiver. Hopefully Buchanan can elevate a Mike Green secondary. Going to be all right. Yeah, I agree. Yep. O-line, star. I would say O-line, star receiver, edge in that order. I don't listen. If we go out there and get somebody like a Max Crosby, like everybody's been talking about, he's an excellent player. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and throw things on my TV screen over that. But I would say that's not the move you make first. The first move you make is making sure the O-line is good. Max Crosby does nothing for Lamar Jackson, right? He does something for the defense, sure. He does nothing for Lamar Jackson. You have to sacrifice those type of players to get players that are going to elevate your superstar, right? Like Max Crosby is a really good player. He's not the superstar, and he's not going to be expected to win you games. If we go and get Max Crosby this offseason, are we going to say, all right, we have everything we need now in defense. We need the defense to take over games the same way the Seahawks did. Are we going to say that? No, we don't have that expectation. But if we go get an O-line, build a wall around Lamar Jackson, we go get him a Justin Jefferson or A.J. Brown or whoever, we're going to be saying, all right, Lamar, you got everything you need. No excuses. Get it done, regardless of what happens on the defensive side of the ball. So that's why you have to take care of what Lamar needs first. All right. Let's see what we got here. Who's sick? You're sick of Silas Sports says you're sick of the fence riding. Nah, you either all in or get the F out. I'm sick of the fence riding. I don't like EDC, but players play, coaches. What is it? What does that mean? You're sick of the fence riding? Who's fence riding? You better clear that up, my friend. My friend, you came in the wrong place to talk trash, and you typing in all caps. You better clean that up. What do you mean you're sick of the fence riding? Who's fence riding? You're all in or get the F out. Why do you have to be all in? All into what? We're fans, right? And there is a level of uncertainty. We don't know what's going on with the team right now. We got coaches that are brand new coaches. You're going to be all in on somebody that you don't know anything about. You think he's going to be really good or really bad? Right? You're all in or get out, right? What if he can't coach? What if he's an excellent coach? We don't know. All we can do is speculate, right? EDC, we don't know what he can do without John Harbaugh's influence. All we can do is speculate, right? And to be all in, I mean, do you get paid by the Ravens? If you don't get paid by the Ravens, you're not all in anything. Lamar's fence riding, I don't bite my tongue, be all in or leave now. How do you know? What makes you think he's fence riding? What does this mean? You don't bite your tongue. Okay, listen. Again, what makes Lamar? What makes Lamar fence riding? He has a contract. He's playing out his contract. That's all in, right? But do you understand what a contract is? So he signed it. He's playing it. They're the ones that want to change it up. So who's all in? Just because you want him to extend to do an extension so he can give cap relief to the organization that didn't do a good job managing the cap, he's supposed to bail them out? Nah. Yeah, Davon. It's 6:37. Be blessed. Right. I don't know who this guy is, but it's too early for that. Ravenville, good morning. Says, Lord forbid they have offense O-line so Derrick Henry can run crazy. Facts. JR, good morning. Says, good morning, good people. Salute to you. Salah is a Ravens company man. Listen, talking like that. Hey, For his sake, I hope so. You talking about be all in. I hope you get a paycheck from the Ravens. I hope you do, because if you don't and you talking reckless like that, then you're a sucker. Right? Straight up. No, I want him all in so we can build the team. Lamar is great, but team first, guys. No. All right. This is the last one we'll put up from you. Team first is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. You are player first. If you're a player, you better take care of you first. Make your money, make sure your career set, then the team. Team first? No. And listen, again, Lamar is under contract. He's not asking to leave. So he is about the team, right? He's involved in the new head coaching search. He's involved. I'm gonna say, relax. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Relax, buddy. I got a better suggestion for you. Take a walk. This is my show. That's how it works. All right. Enjoy your day. Now, but he has a contract. He hasn't said I want to go anywhere. He says I want to play out my contract. What's wrong with that? The problem is we weren't responsible. The team wasn't responsible with how they managed the cap room. That's not Lamar's problem. That's your GM's problem, right? That's the owner's problem. And Steve Bisciotti already said if they don't get a deal done with Lamar, there are some ways that they can get some cap relief. Not things that they want to do, but there are some ways that they can get some cap relief. So that might be something that they have to explore, or they have to make it worth. They have to make it worth his while to do a contract extension now. But that's not something that's an obligation. That's not something that says you're not all in. You know. Yes, Davon. He didn't pay the toll. He didn't pay the troll toll. You know, and you come in here typing all caps. And yes, you are a sucker, Solid Sports. You are a sucker. So, congratulations. Lamar has every right to hedge in order to negotiate the best contract. Team first is BS, 100%. Team first is how you get screwed over. Right? You don't do that for your job. I hope you don't do that for your job. All right? I hope you don't just say, "Hey, company first." I don't worry about giving me a raise. Company first. Yep, I'll work this overtime and I won't claim overtime. Company first. You do that at your job? You're all in or get the F out. Right? That's what you're asking these players to do. And you think just because they have the potential to make millions of dollars, they should leave money on the table? Hell no. Grumpy Ravens, Canes fans, salute. What's up with you, man? Thanks for coming through. We got 14-7 at work, 15-year, $1 billion deal. Make it happy, EDC. There you go. Kwame, salute. Good morning. DeMarcus Hayes says Patrick Mahomes money. Facts. DeMarcus, you're a Chiefs fan, right? I think you're the Chiefs fan. Salute to you. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to y'all. Shout out to y'all for bringing back Eric Bieniemy. He should have never been. He should have left. He should have left for a head coaching job, but he got screwed over. But I'm glad that the Chiefs recognized that they made a mistake and bringing in Matt Nagy and said, "Hey, let's go back, get that old thing back with Eric Bieniemy." You know, that's what winning organizations do. They quickly recognize the mistakes and they pivot. All right. What else we got here? Rainmaker says they should have done better on his rookie deal and they might not be in this situation. Facts. Do better on his rookie deal. And you know what they could have done? EDC had the first pick. He had the first crack of the wide receivers in that draft. He took Hollywood Brown, and I don't think Hollywood Brown's a bad wide receiver. But like B said, he was probably one of the worst ones out of the options that he had. You had DK Metcalf in that draft. You had Terry McLaurin in that draft. I believe AJ Brown was in that draft too. Yeah, AJ Brown was in that draft. All these guys that you had a shot to get, and you chose Hollywood Brown. Had we gotten any one of those other guys, this team looks a lot different. Just that pick alone. And that was EDC's first draft. Since then, he's made a whirlwind of mistakes in the draft. Just doing a better job in the first round of some of these drafts drastically changes how this team looks, right? Just that alone. Getting George Pickens instead of Ojabo drastically changes the way this team looks. So, yeah, EDC has done a terrible job. And those guys weren't picked, I think, because of the influence of John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh not wanting that diva wide receiver or player, somebody that he feels like might be a problem. They'll say in the locker room, but really a problem for him because Harbaugh can't handle strong egos, strong personalities. Unkind Ravens fan says these people saying anything on the internet these days going to tell the host to relax. He learned the hard way. All right, now he's relaxing. He's still watching. He can't comment anymore. C Iron says I'm a couple of minutes back, but that Lamar fence riding stuff is a bozo. Yeah. We know what it is. He won't do that at his job. And be all in, and he don't work for the Ravens. That's sucker stuff. All right. Also, Bateman over Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. No, listen, he was a later pick, right? He wasn't a consensus first round pick. I understand that one because where was Amon-Ra St. Brown drafted in? What, fourth round, third or fourth round? Might have been even later than that, right? Sometimes you find some gems later on in the draft, which is what we keep hoping we're going to do when we get 11 draft picks. We're going to find these gems. We never do. But I'm not going to slam him over that. Everybody liked Bateman at the time. I like the pick. Everybody liked the pick. What we didn't like was the Oweh pick because even then we need to help out at O-line because we just traded away Orlando Brown Jr. Right, and that was another thing that we said don't trade him just because he asked for a trade. Just because you ask for a trade, you let him go. Like, no, you say no, you're staying here. And when you become a free agent, you can go if you don't want to work out a deal with us. But we need you now because Ronnie Stanley was hurt that year, right? That's when we brought in Villanueva, that clown, and got Lamar hurt. So it was all bad. It was a bunch of bad moves that EDC made over the years. But you're absolutely right, Ravenville. They're the ones that fumbled Lamar's rookie deal, and that whole he's got to take a team-friendly deal now to bring in some help. Nope, you had your chance. Now you need to do your job and hit on these draft picks. This draft here, you better get it right. You have 11 draft picks. I suggest you don't use them all. I suggest you better package those things and trade up wherever you can and hit on a handful of picks. Right? And I'm going to ask y'all this. How many draft picks do you expect? Do you say, hey, this guy has to come in and make an impact right now from this coming draft, this 2026 draft? Because we make a lot of excuses for these draft picks not working out. We say, hey, it's only a first year. Hey, it's only a rookie. We say that, and then we don't circle back to the player, right? We said that this year about Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks had a bad year, in my opinion. I don't think he's a bad player, but for where we picked him and what we needed him to do, bad year. Mike Green, bad year. And we're saying, well, he's only a rookie. Doesn't matter. You have to make an impact. Your first through third round picks have to make an impact immediately. And we don't have that expectation from our players, especially on defense. So coach says 76% of the draft has to make an impact. I would say to the first four picks, JR. Yeah, I would say, at least three of the picks. At least three of the picks have to come in and make an impact. Yes. Yep. At least three of the at least three, we have top 15 picks in most rounds. Yeah. I would agree with that. Ty Riggs, good morning. Salute to you. Salute. All right, we can hang out here a little bit longer. I don't have to dip out of here like I did yesterday. And Hendo is working late, so he's not able to make it. So I'm gonna give y'all a little extra content. All right. If you're over, if you went over to the Row Pod and you didn't see him over there, that's why. But he will be back tomorrow. All right. But do me a favor, because we have almost 100 people in here. Salute to y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit that subscribe button. Also go over to the Row Pod. My man Hendo is working late, but let's show him some love. Make sure you go hit the subscribe button over there. All right. Patrick Mahomes money, 13th. Andy Reid. What you mean? What do you mean by that? What 13th? What? But if you're saying give Lamar Patrick Mahomes money, I mean, look, the top quarterbacks when their contract is up should be the highest paid quarterback. That's how it works, right? So Lamar contract, if you're working out a contract for Lamar, he needs to be the highest paid quarterback. That's all it is. OG Sean, good morning. He says, to be honest, I don't see how we even evaluate any new players under Zach Orr's defense. Yeah, I feel you. That's why I don't say that. That's why I'm saying don't go out there and try to do patchwork on what we think is a hole. It may not be a hole, right? We keep saying we need edge rushers. What if Mike Green is that guy? You know, like what if he can play? What if Adisa Isaac can play? You know, like the Seahawks don't have elite pass rushers. They have good pass rushers. They have an excellent defense as a whole. They play well as a unit. What if we don't need to go out there and spend a lot of money on an edge rusher? What if we have guys on this team that can just play? They just need to be coached and, coached the right way. We know what the holes are on offense. We know Falele can't play. We know Voorhees can't play, right? We know whether Bateman can play better. We know Bateman can play better than what he did last year, but we know he's not that guy. We know Andrew's best days are behind him, even though we extended them. Right? Like, we know those things that we need on offense are actual needs. God's favorite says, Jose, did you watch Papa Mentor on 105.7? Made me feel great about the team. I think this will truly be Lamar's offense, and our defense is going to show out. No, I don't really listen to 105.7 like that. You're talking about Jesse Mentor's dad. What's his dad's name? I forget his name. But yes, his dad was I'm not sure what his title was, like defensive strategist or whatnot with the Chargers. So they've worked together. I believe they worked together in college as well. I actually like Rick. Thank you, Rick Mentor. I actually like that. I like when I'm not a fan of the nepotism that goes on in this sport, but I think it is beneficial when you have father-son coaching tandems, right? And the father isn't necessarily, he's not the head coach, he's not really in charge, but like he has more of like a mentorship, gives guidance to the son. That's what Kyle Shanahan had going on. I think he still has going on, because I think Mike Shanahan is still, he may not work there technically, but I think he's still in the building. He's still around that organization in San Francisco to help out Shanahan with some of those little nuanced things that he would need help with over the years. I think Shanahan obviously done an excellent job since then, but early on I knew Mike Shanahan was still kind of guiding him. And Jesse Mentor being a first-time head coach, and Rick Mentor obviously being an architect of the defense that he runs now, or at least one of the architects. I think that is very good for Jesse. It helps take the pressure off of him. He could focus on being a head coach. I think Mentor and EDC had done a good job putting together a staff that will help him not just have it all on his shoulders. And we just saw that too with the Seahawks, right? It wasn't all on Mike McDonald. The head coach gets all the glory for sure, right? But like we talked about yesterday, Leslie Frazier always puts out good defenses, right? Leslie Frazier was on that coaching staff with them. So yes, Mike McDonald might have been calling the defensive plays, but Leslie Frazier knows defense. It helps to have somebody like that to teach these guys, how to play. It helps to have somebody that's a veteran that commands the respect of these players, right? So I think Rick Minter being in the building helps. Anthony Weaver being in the building helps. Joe Lombardi on offense, because we have a first-time offensive coordinator calling plays. He's not a first-time offensive coordinator, but it's first time he's calling plays, and he's super young. He's not even 30 yet. So you better have an older coach in there to kind of command the respect. Joe Lombardi is a good hire in that sense. So, let's see, DeMarcus, what are you saying, bro? What are you saying? You just keep saying Pat Mahomes. Don't spam the chat, man. I don't want to put you in timeout, bro. What are you saying? Elaborate. Tyreek says, as long as we don't got to hear who got it better than us, man. Facts. What do you think about drafting a wide receiver in the first round? I'm for it, as long as they can play. Mekhi Lemon, when I do my little mock drafts and pretend I know who these people are, Mekhi Lemon, I saw some of his highlight tapes. Carnell Tate, and there's another one that's supposed to go really high, but usually they're gone before our picks, which means that Carnell Tate might be one of those players that we're gonna have to package some picks and move up and just grab. But I'm for drafting a wide receiver. If my first preference is to just trade for Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown, right? Or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Call around and ask and see who give up their wide receivers. Get somebody that's proven, right? Proven over potential. That's my thing. Proven over potential. Some of these guys could be excellent wide receivers, but we're trying to win right now, and we know Justin Jefferson is an excellent wide receiver. Jordan Tyson, that's who it is, Jay. Thank you. Jordan Tyson. I don't care about how much it costs to bring in somebody like Justin Jefferson. Do not care. We don't ask that question when we're bringing in an edge rusher. If we trade for Max Crosby like everybody wanted, we're not going to ask how much does that cost. It's going to cost just as much, right? But bringing in Justin Jefferson takes us further because he helps the quarterback out. So do whatever it takes to get somebody that's proven on that side of the ball. And he's ready to win. He's at the point in his career. He's trying to win. He cares about his legacy. All right. I'll take AJ over all of them, or Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll take them too. But I don't understand the disrespect of Justin Jefferson. He's in my opinion, he's still the best wide receiver in the league. He gets it done with no quarterback. Okay. He still went over 1,000 yards with JJ McCarthy this year. Give me Justin Jefferson. But if we don't get Justin Jefferson, I'll take any one of those guys you just named. All right, DeMarcus, it's time for you to go, my friend. Like, I gave you a chance. Man. If you're just going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, man, and we let you hang out here yesterday too, but if that's all you have to say, then, have a good day. SV Cam, good morning. Says, give me Jettas. Facts. Imani, good morning. Thanks for coming through. Let's see. We can, KYD says, we can get a really good guard at 14. Yeah. It all depends. So you guys asked about wide receiver. You asked about O-line. It really depends on what we do in free agency. Okay. That's the first step. Before we get to the draft, we have to talk about free agency. There's a lot of players in free agency. We can fix the O-line, a major part of our O-line problem in free agency before we even get to the draft. First, we got to re-sign Tyler Linderbaum. That's first. Okay. First, assuming we get the Lamar Jackson deal done, obviously. Get Lamar Jackson deal done, re-sign Tyler Linderbaum. We can go and pick up 2 guards. They don't even have to be the best guards in the world. We can get 2 solid guards in free agency. Elijah Vera Tucker. The Giants actually have a free agent guard that looks like he's pretty good. I think Ferris said that he was a pretty good guard. I'm not sure if they're bringing him back or not. And knowing that Harbaugh's there now and he wants his guys, it's not a slam dunk that they bring back that guard, because Falele is a free agent and he might say, "Bring me Falele." Right? He is. It's a good trait as a person, not a good trait as a coach. He is loyal to his guys. So this guy might be, I forget his name, but he might be out there. You can bring him in. I talk about Joel Bitonio, and he's older. He might be a little washed, but he's not Falele level washed or Voorhees level washed. So, we have options at guard, is what I'm saying. We can, and also Emory Jones is on the team. You don't have to get somebody that we have to break the bank for. You just have to get somebody on that side that can compete with Emory Jones. And if Emory Jones can't win that job, we have a solid starter there. So there's options there. So if we take care of that in the free agency, you don't have to worry as much going into the draft. I still need us to go and get a tackle, right? Even if somebody that can be a swing tackle right now and eventually replace Ronnie Stanley. So O-line needs a lot of work. We can get most of that done in free agency. And if we do that, first round doesn't have to go to O-line. It can go wide receiver. It can even go defense. But I wouldn't say edge rusher first. I would say defensive tackle, interior D-line. I'm scared to get a first round receiver. Just get a guy that's already been proven. I'd rather draft an O-line, get a star edge and wide receiver, and get another O-line guard. Yeah. If it's not similar to this, I'm frightened. I feel you, because we've made some bad choices. I feel you on that. That's not my first option either. Trade Andrews for Justin Jefferson, sign likely. Yeah. Pat G, I wish we could do that. I wish we could do that. Yeah, that name is crazy. I know. Nah, I never asked you this. I hope you're black. That would be a disaster of few words. I should ask that. Michael Smith, good morning. Sign George Pickens. Here's the thing. There's been some reports that George Pickens it could get the franchise tag. So they're saying that the Cowboys are intending to tag him, which I guess is the right move. He's an excellent player. I get it. Now, what are they going to do with CeeDee Lamb? Because I wasn't sure if they're going to do that, knowing that they're paying CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb didn't have a great year. He had a lot of drops, but he's still a great wide receiver. But maybe they're one of those teams like the Bengals that are like, no, we're going to keep our wide receivers stacked, and they have a pretty good O-line as well. So I can see it. David Njoku says he's done in Cleveland. I saw that. Yep. I saw that. If Harbs doesn't pick up Falele is free agent, then that tells me he was sabotaging the team. Oh yeah. If he says not, well, I mean, listen, we don't need this to happen for us to know that he was sabotaging the team. We all have eyes. We've seen the same thing that he's seen. He knew that they were bad and he did nothing about it. Right. Now, if he does bring in Falele when they have, their O-line is starting to improve, that tells me that he is blinded by loyalty, or just plain stubborn. Just plain stubborn, not wanting to admit that he got it wrong. Trademark no Andrews. I hate to tell y'all, man, it's going to be hard to trademark Andrews. I'm not saying it's going to be impossible, but he just got a brand new deal that he should not have gotten. And you have to find a team that's really desperate for a tight end. Not saying it can't happen. Right? And I understand that deal was done when EDC thought it was all good. Harbaugh thought it was all good and nothing was going to change. But things have changed now. And, Andrews may not be a part of the new coach's plans. But this year, at least for this year, you can't cut him. Too much dead money in cutting him. After this year, it becomes easier to cut him if you need to. But a trade, I guess, could happen. I don't see it. Send him to the Giants. There you go. Y'all really want to get Mark Andrews out of here? Sheesh. Henry really trying to speak AJ into existence. Hey, man. Yeah, he played with AJ Brown on the Titans, right? I'm not mad at that. Now, here's the thing though, AJ. You can't be yelling at the head coach over here and then dropping a pass in a playoff game. Dropping multiple passes. You can't pull a Andrews over here. All right. You gotta make those catches. So is SB trolling? What's he trolling about? Sauce Gardner got a new deal and got traded. That's true. Sauce Gardner is still an excellent cornerback, though. Right? That's different. That's like saying that like a better equivalent would be who's somebody that's kind of washed now. Right? Like a older cornerback just got a new deal and then got traded. Like you don't see something like that. You know, Sauce Gardner is still one of the top corners in the league. Mark Andrews is not a top tight end. All those 5th round picks, we are definitely drafting 2 tight ends again. Yes. Yeah. DDSQ, good morning. Good morning. All right, I'm gonna read a couple more and get out of here. There's over 100 people in here. Appreciate y'all, man. Good morning to y'all. Good morning to everybody that good morning, everybody. Appreciate everybody that sent in super chats. Appreciate our newest Patreon member. Thank you very much. If you want to be a part of our Patreon community, go to patreon.com/LBHTShow. Let me put the graphic up here. Right there. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to our overtime show. That happens tomorrow night after the LBHT show. That is a lot of fun. If you want to do a $10 tier, you get one of these right here. Oh, you just reminded me too. I got to make sure B sent out these coins. We have 2 $10 tier members. They get one of these coins. This logo right here is one of our legacy logos right there. It's a microphone with a fork through it. That used to be our logo before we switched it up. Really dope coin. So you get one of those. And you get access to our Discord channel. So, and once you're in the Discord, you're in. We don't take anybody out unless you're being a troll like that one dude earlier, Sala Sports or whatever. All right. Yes, over 100 people and only 56 likes. Come on, y'all. Listen to Ty Riggs. Let's get those likes up. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. MDT Sports, good morning. Good morning to you. Slim, good morning. No hand juice is crazy, yet accurate. Good morning, Chad. Good morning. If they draft the F and wide receiver before lineman, I'm gonna flip the F out. Okay, I hear you, world class. But what about this? What if they went in and signed two old linemen in free agency? Right? Like I'm with you. If they don't do anything in free agency to address the old line and they draft the wide receiver, I'm gonna be uncomfortable about that for sure. Right? O line has to be a priority. But what if they take care of that in free agency? You know, like I'd be good with it. If one of them, the Oregon tight end, I'm cool. Yeah. Well, the Oregon tight end isn't going in the 5th round. He definitely going in the 1st round. But he's another one though, Coach. You talking about Kenyon Sadiq? If he again, this is all assuming we take care of O-line in the 1st round or in free agency. We have to show up the O-line. If we do that, and if we go and get Kenyon Sadiq, I ain't mad at that. Sign Zeitler and Wyatt Teller or Batonio. Yes. That's actually, yeah. Zeitler was somebody I was like, yeah. Okay, yes. I'm glad you cleared that up. Thank you. I assumed that, but you can't assume things on the internet. But Zeitler was somebody that shouldn't have left. He shouldn't have left. He didn't cost a lot of money, right? That was just this. That was a John Harbaugh thing. That was John Harbaugh really liking Voorhees and wanting it to work. Really liking Daniel Falele. That was his project since he was 16 years old and really wanting it to work. And having somebody like Zeitler on the team, he can't justify not playing Kevin Zeitler. That's what it is, right? And that's what it is because when Emory Jones got healthy and was able to play some meaningful snaps, and coach could tell you, coach has reviewed the tape. Coach Evans, Sip to Tally Films, go subscribe over there, right? He could tell you that Emory Jones was outplaying Voorhees when he got in there. He was outplaying Falele when he got in there. And every time he was asked about Emory Jones in a press conference, Harbaugh would tell you, yeah, he did all right, but he's not, he didn't outplay anybody. He's not playing good enough to go out there and start. Just lying to your face. Just lying to your face. And he can do that with a rookie. He can't do that with somebody that's already been established as a better starter, right? He got rid of the competition for these guys. Harbaugh did so many things that was just effed up for this team, right? So he had to go. The whole coaching staff had to go. That won't be the case this time. Absolutely, I bring in Kevin Zeitler and let him challenge Emory Jones for a starting spot. I would still want to get a solid starter on the right side. And if Zeitler beats out Emory Jones, we know we have some solid guard play there. But I would get two veteran guards like Kevin Zeitler, like Bitonio, or whoever, Elijah Vera Tucker, somebody that they may not be great, but they can give you a certain level of play, right? I have faith in Emory. I do too, but we can't hand a job to anybody. Everything has to be earned here. We did too much handouts last year. So I still want to bring in veteran guards to challenge that. But I'm with you though, and I think Emory Jones might work out. I think, and I saw some videos of him working out this offseason. I don't know the man personally, but I feel like he has that drive, that want to. You know what I mean? So I got a good feeling about Emory Jones. We may only need one guard, if we're being honest, but get some insurance. Did you catch Mike McDonald interview on Kimmel? No, I didn't see that. He dropped some coaching nuggets that I hope Mentor was taking notes. But they coach together. So some of them nuggets, Mentor might already be cooking up. How about that? How about that? Maybe he got them nuggets from Rick Mentor. So I mean, we don't know. That's the exciting thing about all this. We got a first-time head coach, excellent defensive coordinator like Mike McDonald. He put together his staff, and it's all going to be new. This could all work out great, or it could be it could be a disaster, right? And we're not talking about that part of it. If it is a disaster, what do? You quickly pivot from that. You quickly move on. You do not stay there and stick with a mistake. You move on. But I feel good about it. I think most of y'all feel good about it. Some of y'all are a little little doubtful, and I understand. But I feel good about all the moves being made so far. I think we're going to have a really good year this year. Will it result in the Super Bowl? It's tough when you have that many moving pieces to win a Super Bowl in that first year, but not impossible. Now that second year, I think we really hit the ground, and I think we are right there. Getting G-Roll strictly to be a run coordinator, not OC, was a smart move by Hartz, to be honest, in my opinion. Whatever, whatever. I don't think G-Roll really provides anything at this point. And like I said, the Harbaughs. So no, if you're friends with the Harbaugh family, you are set for life. Okay, I don't think Greg Roman has ever worked for anybody else in the NFL. He worked for Jim in San Francisco. Actually, no, he did. He worked he worked it with Buffalo. Who was the coach in Buffalo at the time? Was he the head coach? No, he was a coordinator. Most of his career, he's worked for the Hardballs. He worked for Jim, then he worked for John, then Jim, and now back to John. Okay, like when he got fired, and we all knew it. We joked about it. When he got fired, we knew he was going to end up on John Harbaugh's coaching staff, right? So Roman will be the Giants OC eventually. Watch, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, watch him weasel his way back to an OC job. I feel bad that Zach Orr will probably be without a coaching job. He just wasn't ready to be a defensive coordinator. Zach Orr will end up on a Giants staff if he doesn't get a job somewhere. That's what I believe. I don't think Harbaugh will leave him on the streets. And that's a bad look for him because Harbaugh cares more about his ego and the way he looks more than anything else. And, we'll be talking about that too. Like, hey, you thought he was good enough for this team, but you don't want him. You don't want him on your team. You brought back G-Roll, but you didn't bring back Zach Orr. Zach Orr will be on that team. Okay, I'm gonna go find it when Jose finish. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna finish up. Right now. I'm gonna finish up right now. We're almost done. We've been going for almost an hour. I told y'all I would give y'all some extra content because I don't have to go into work today. But we're back to our regularly scheduled program tomorrow. Okay, it won't be a tight 30, but it'll be like 35 minutes or so tomorrow. All right, Hendo will be back. All right. We didn't even get to any of the other news, man. We got so much stuff that we can talk about this offseason. We still haven't talked about James Pierce. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on the LBHT show. That situation is bad, bad, bad. All right. Anybody in Harbaugh's inner circle doesn't change. That's true. Yeah, Ciaran Addict, he brought G-Roll back. He sure did. Zach Orr won't be on the street for long. If he doesn't get a job, he'll end up there. And again, I like Zach Orr. I hate that it didn't work out for him as defensive coordinator here. I think he's still going to end up being a good coach at some point. He was just put in a bad situation. He was under a head coach that couldn't give him any guidance. And the difference between what he had and Mike Macdonald had when he was here was the coaching staff around him. Anthony Weaver was here when Mike Macdonald was here. Denard Wilson was here. You had a lot of veterans here that Mike Macdonald could lean on to help spread his message to the players, right? Zach Orr didn't have any of that. I think Chuck Pagano and Dean Pease, that's not good enough. When and the rest of the coaching staff are guys that have 1, 2, 3 years of experience, that's not good enough. And when you hear players say, "No, what Zach Orr is saying makes sense," we're just not, we're second guessing ourselves. That's where the other coaches come in and are supposed to help out. So he didn't have that. So it was tough for him. It was tough for him. Grumpy Ravens Canes fan, appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Says, yo, Jose, who is our backup? It's important. Our backup quarterback? Tyler Huntley. Bring him back. Bring back Tyler Huntley. Or, I mean, we could use one of our 11 draft picks to draft somebody, but, Tyler Huntley served well as a backup. I don't see any reason not to bring him back. Tyler Huntley should be a career backup player. Some players are like that. Some players, he got his shot to be a starter, right? He made a little money. It didn't work out. Just be a backup player, and we don't have to keep worrying about who's, we need a quarterback. Who's going to be a backup quarterback? No, man, just he works out just fine. Let Linderbaum walk and give that bread to Trey Henderson, sign Zeitler and draft guards and a center who can compete with Corey Bullock days 2 through 4. I think that's a terrible idea. Rome MVP. I don't like that idea at all. You can't just say, hey, find somebody, find a center that can compete with Corey Bullock. Is Corey Bullock a starter? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't downgrade the position. You got to get stronger there. Trey Hendrickson, no thank you. Let's get weaker at O-line to try to get a little better at edge. Nah, that doesn't help Lamar. Signing Zeitler and drafting guards does help. I'll give you that. But edge rusher. I'm sorry. On my list, that's lower on the list. O-line, solidify that. Wide receiver, get a star if you can. Interior D-line, defensive tackle. Even if Madubuike can come back, which, he put out some cryptic messages and people think that means he's coming back. I'm not gonna validate that, but maybe he can, maybe he can't. Either way, get an interior D lineman, then get an edge. Right? We have a decent Isaac at home, 3rd round pick, by the way. We have Mike Green at home, 2nd round pick, by the way. Just saying. All right. 92 is washed. Trade 92. If he's washed, how you gonna trade him? Man, we ain't gonna make fun of him, man. Like, everybody, Rome doesn't know ball. No, Rome does know ball. Like, listen. These are all our opinions. Rome could be right. That move, those moves could work out under this new coaching staff. I don't like the idea. That's all I'm saying. I don't like the idea. Are we able to franchise tag Likely, or did we do that last year? No, we didn't tag him. I wouldn't tag Likely. Let him walk. We made a mistake there. Let him walk. Likely isn't a make or break player for this team. I like Likely a lot, but either we can re-sign him in free agency or we can't. But we need to start looking at star players. My goodness, we need star players. Think star players for your star quarterback, y'all. Right? Stop thinking bare minimum. Y'all think superstars on defense all the time. Y'all want Max Crosby. You want Trey Hendrickson. You want the flashy players on defense. Take that mindset and switch it over to the offense. You want a star player for your star quarterback. That's what you should be thinking. I was playing around with this GM app the other day. Chris just joking got me hooked on this thing, man. Appreciate that. You can sign players, you can draft players, all this stuff. I did in free agency. I went and signed Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks. Have Kenneth Walker play behind Derrick Henry. And I traded for Justin Jefferson. I had a scenario where I re-signed Linderbaum, got Lamar deal done, traded for Justin Jefferson, only took a 2nd round pick, 2nd round this year, 2nd round next year. That's why I gave up to get Justin Jefferson. Signed Bitonio in free agency. Re-signed a bunch of our players too. Let Pat Ricard go. Drafted. Who did I draft? Oh, okay, yeah. I signed Joe Bitonio, signed Kenneth Walker. Drafted that guard from Penn State, Vega. I can't pronounce his last name. So our O-line is set. We have a killer backfield in Henry and Kenneth Walker, and we got Justin Jefferson on the team. What else do you need? What about defense? That's why we got a defensive coach to figure out what we have over there, right? Hey, Kyle Hamilton's still on the team. I didn't get rid of Kyle Hamilton. I restructured our linebackers, Roquan. I restructured Roquan's deal, right? I had to let go of Marlon Humphrey. That's the one thing on the app they didn't let me do. They didn't let me restructure for some reason, so I had to cut him. But I don't want to cut Marlon Humphrey. I want to restructure his deal. Yeah, re-sign Keaton. I did re-sign Keaton Mitchell. He was a restricted free agent. Yep. I kept the team mostly intact and I added some much needed help on the offense. Everybody on defense is pretty much there in this scenario. And this isn't like an exact science, this thing. This is, it's just for fun. But all that to say, we can make these things happen, y'all. This isn't something that's impossible to do. It seems impossible for us because we don't do it, but we can absolutely do that. What app did I use for that? Hold on. Let me tell you. I'll tell you right now. It's a website. It is called sticktothemodel.com. Sticktothemodel.com. Yep. STICK2TOTHEMODEL.com. All right. Ravens love 43 and Ali. World class. Harbaugh, love those guys. This is a new coaching staff here. This is not the same coaching staff. We don't know who they love, who they don't love. Hey, and listen, I love Justice Hill too. Don't get me wrong. I like Justice Hill. I like Ali. Right? If we end it, and this is, we're not signing Kenneth Dixon. Let's just get that out the way. But if he were available, that's an upgrade. Right? You don't stick to players that you like just because you like them. What's better for the team? Also, another option is Breece Hall, who I thought we should have traded. Justice Hill is not trash, world class. He's not trash. He's not trash. He made some quality plays for us when he was healthy. But Breece Hall, Kenneth Dixon, not Kenneth Dixon, Kenneth Walker. Those are upgrades. Yeah. This ain't Harbaugh anymore. Keaton's not gone. Why are you saying Keaton's gone? He's a restricted free agent. Where do you think he's going? Or unless you're saying the new coaching staff doesn't want him. I don't think that's the case. But he can't just walk. Like we have his rights. Yeah, I didn't know Keaton was a restricted free agent this damn offseason. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. He was drafted he got hurt like 2 years, I think. And when you're drafted later in the draft, you don't get those long contracts. The Ravens should have signed Lamar after his first MVP season. They dropped the ball. It's not Lamar's fault. Oh yeah, listen, man. It is not Lamar's fault. They let him play out his contract. They tried to strong arm him. The league colluded to try to keep him from getting the fully guaranteed contract, and it all blew up in the Ravens' face. I feel no sympathy for this organization right now, and I love what Lamar has done. Lamar and his mother, his agent, that they said shouldn't be his agent. They have navigated these waters perfectly. I love it. Shout out to Money Making Mitch for the super chat. Says, hope all is well. Haven't donated in a while. I want Jettas. Hey, I appreciate all that. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let me get out of here. All right, gone over an hour. Y'all need to get to work. I am going to enjoy my day off. I gotta run some errands, but listen, y'all tune into Sip to Tally Films. My guy, Coach, right here. We're gonna get a Ravens roundup later tonight. All right, you're gonna see me on there. Let's see. Facts. Keaton was in the doghouse for no reason. He wasn't. Was he in a doghouse? I think they're kind of just easing him back into the rotation after his injury, right? And also, like, Harbaugh don't like playing young players either. That's the other thing. That's not a good thing. I'm just saying. And that's different from his doghouse, where he just doesn't want players to play. Y'all got faith in the coaching staff when the roster is constructed by the same idiot EDC that have faith in Falele and Voorhees. I had zero faith in them. All right. Listen, like, again, he's got to prove it. That right there, I'm not going to argue. And the staff was the staff and roster wasn't all constructed by EDC, right? When coaches come in, they bring their staff, right? They bring in the people that they want. EDC did not handpick all of these guys. All right. You hire a coach. They say, these are who I want. And here in Baltimore, like Steve Bisciotti said, the coach answers to the owner, not the GM. So EDC definitely didn't handpick his staff. All right. So, I mean, if you don't like the hire, if you don't like the head coach hire, that's one thing. But to say that EDC handpicked the whole staff, nah. And he definitely didn't handpick the whole roster. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all. We're getting out of here. Y'all have a great day. I will see you later. Peace.